Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Last Minute a channel that helps you with your life sciences, everything that you need in terms of your life sciences. This channel helps you with it. It's either the day before your exam or you are starting a new section in life sciences and you're a bit worried and intimidated. This is your painkiller from all that stress. So make sure you subscribe. Today we are going to be looking at sight. So this is part 2 of your nervous system. Part 1 we talked about the parts of the brain, the functions, the different lobes and all of that. We talked about neurons and nerves and all of that. So today we are going to be doing part 2 of the nervous system, and we're going to be looking at some receptors and also the functioning of your eyes, like how does your brain and your eyes enable you to see everything that you see on your daily life. So we're going to be looking at receptors, the structure of the human eye, its function, the visual pathway, accommodation mechanism, the pupillary mechanism, and vision. So let's get into it. So for receptors, let's just explain first what are receptors. Receptors are like your fingertips. So we had looked at the structure of your neurons, and there's this part of your neurons that's called the dendrites. The dendrites has little things that look like fingertips, like fingers with little tips on them. So those are your receptors. That part is the part that is able to pick up stimulus. Stimulus is like any changes in your environment, and then those receptors send messages with the help of sensory neurons or with nerves to your brain, and then your brain interprets what needs to be done. So for the first receptor, we're going to be looking at sight, which is our vision. In our eye, we have things called photoreceptors. They are in our retina, and on the retina there's rods and cones. Rods detect dim light like black and white vision, and cones detect bright light or color vision like red, green, and blue. So your photoreceptors will receive the light stimulus and then will turn that light stimulus into an electric impulse, and it will be carried to your brain via the optic nerve. Then we have hearing, and inside your ears they are mechanical receptors. So there are cells that look like hairs or are like hair-like cells that are in your ear, and they pick up like the vibrations, and those vibrations they convert them to an electric impulse, which is carried by your auditory nerves to your brain. And then we have smell. So in your nose or nasal cavity, they are olfactory receptors or chemoreceptors, because they pick up chemicals that are in the air, and they send that chemical stimuli to your brain via the olfactory nerve. And then we have your tongue, taste. Your taste buds that are on your tongue, they have also chemoreceptors. They also pick up chemicals that are dissolved from your foods and your drinks, and they send those impulses to your brain via the taste nerve. And then lastly, we have touch. On your skin, there's 3 different types of receptors. There's mechanical receptors, which pick up pressure. It's either you're being pulled or pushed. And there are thermoreceptors, which pick up the temperature. It's either it's too hot, and then you get the need to take off your jacket, or you're feeling it's chilly, you put on your jacket. And there's nociceptors, which are receptors that pick up pain on your body. It's either you get pinched, bitten by an ant or mosquito. It picks up pain, and they send those signals to the brain via the sensory nerves, so that your body can able to interpret what needs to be done. So now we're going to look at the human eye, its function and its structures. So first up, right here in front, we are going to be looking at the iris. The iris is the part of your eye that determines your eye color. So it could be black, brown, blue. And the iris basically controls the size of the pupil to regulate how much light enters into your eye. So, and then you have the pupil, which is in between the iris. It's that black little circle in your eye, and its sizes changes to determine the amount of light that gets into your eye. So the pupil makes sure that you don't damage your eyes by having too much light getting into your eye, or enables you to be able to see by allowing you to have enough light that gets into your eye. And then we have the sclera. The sclera is the white outer layer of your eye. You can see it if you look in the mirror, but it's all over your eyeball. It covers your entire eyeball, and it serves to protect your eye and gives it its shape. And then we have the cornea. So the cornea is like a domed shape layer. It's right here in front of your pupil and iris. It's right there, and its function basically is to help light refract so that it will hit the retinas, and then you'll be able to focus on whatever image that you are seeing. So refracting is like how the light will bend, and with that it determines where it's going to land on your retinas, which will allow your image to form in your brain. And then you have your lenses. Your lenses are flexible. It looks like almost like a disc, but it's not. It's a flexible, transparent structure that looks kind of like a disc. You can see there on the diagram. And also it helps with focusing on the light. It also changes its shape to also help with the bending of the light so that it will hit perfectly on your retina, so that you can be able to see the eye clearly, or the image like clearly. So it's like your cornea and your lenses deal with editing the image that's going to finally form in your brain. And then we have the vitreous humor. It's a gel-like substance, so it fills a large space behind your lens. It's like the inner part of your eyeball, since you see the shape of your eye is like a ball, and it is hard like a ball, and the gel-like substance is what gives it its shape, and also helps to keep the retinas in place right there at the back of your eye. Then we have the retina. Retina is a thin layer of light sensitive cells at the back of your eye. They have photoreceptors, which contain rods and cones for black and white vision and color vision respectively. And these photoreceptors on your retina help to convert a light stimulus into an electric impulse that will be sent to your brain. And then we have the choroid, which is like it's not something that you will be able to see if you're looking into the mirror. It's another layer underneath your sclera. When you look at your eye, there's another layer underneath your sclera, the white stuff, or the white layer, and it serves to just provide oxygen and nutrients for your eyes, so it nourishes your eyes and prevents light from scattering. And then you have your aqueous humor, which is a clear fluid in the front chamber. So right here in your front eye, you see how your eye is like glossy right in front of you, like right here in your iris and pupil. It's glossy, so there is like a fluid there that the aqueous humor makes sure your eye is nourished, like your cornea and your lens are nourished, and also maintains the eye pressure. And then we have your ciliary body and suspensory ligament. Your ciliary body, you can see over there, just right in front, right next to your lenses. Your ciliary body is like the hands that are holding onto your suspensory ligaments, which are like elastics holding onto your lens. So the ciliary body and the suspensory ligament, their function is to change the shape of the lens to allow you to be able to focus your vision for near and far objects. And then the conjunctiva is another layer that is right in front of you, like the outermost layer on the front of your iris and pupil. It's thin, transparent membrane covering the front of the eye, except the cornea. So the cornea will be exposed, then the rest of the eye is covered by the conjunctiva. And it lubricates the eye, so it covers the whole of the white part. So it covers the whole of your eye. It lubricates your eye and protects your eye from dust and microorganisms. And then we have your optic nerve. It's a bundle of fibers. Basically, it's a nerve that helps carries the light or electric impulse that has now been converted by your photoreceptors to your brain so that they can be able to form an image in your head. So those were the functions and the parts of your eye. Now let's look at the visual pathway. How are you able to even see? So what happens is that you look at an object and there's light that's gonna hit the object and it's gonna reflect back into your eye. So the light stimulus enter your eye. So let's say you're looking at a candle, you see the candle, the light's gonna reflect into your eye that's hitting the candle, and it will enter through your cornea, and then the cornea will help bend the light so that it will hit your retina. So it bends the light and the light gets into your pupil. So your pupil then will either dilate or constrict so that it can able to help you focus properly on the image and control how much light that is reflected by that candle goes into your eye. So it determines the amount of light it wants to go into your eye. You get that it goes into your eye, and then your lenses fine tunes and focuses the objects that you're trying to look at. With the help of the ciliary muscles and the suspensory ligament, it will change the shape of the lens so that the image will be sharp. So like I said, the cornea, the pupil, and the lens are like the editors of the image that's going to form at the end. So after that it's through your lens. The light has hit your lens, and then the lens are now going to focus the light to your retina. So the light lands on the retina, and now the photoreceptors have picked up this light stimulus, and now they're going to convert it into an electric impulse. But what they're going to send to the brain is an upside down picture of the candle. So when it goes to your brain, it's going to be an upside down picture of your candle. So the optic nerve sends this message to your brain, and then your brain picks it up and like, okay, we have this image that we're supposed to see. Then your brain is like, okay, let's fix this image. So your brain interprets what you're seeing. Oh, you're seeing a candle. So it goes up to your occipital lobe, which is the lobe that interprets visual stimuli and information, and it will flip the image upright, and then now you have the final product of the image, clear, focused, fully edited, and now you see your candle. So I hope that was clear. So I have a little video here. You'll see like the light will hit your eye, and then your cornea, your pupil, your lens focuses the image, and it focuses the light, and it hits your retina, and your retina change that information into an electric impulse. It goes up to your brain, it goes back to your occipital lobe. Then we have accommodation. Accommodation is the eye's ability to change, or the lens ability to change shape to allow you to be able to focus on either objects that are close to your face or far away. So let's say you're reading a book, it's right up close to your nose, so it's closer. So what will happen is that your ciliary muscles are like your hands. So imagine your hands are like your ciliary muscles, and then your suspensory ligaments are like elastic, or just ends of a balloon. So you have this inflated balloon and you're holding it, and the ends of that balloon are like the suspensory ligaments, and your hands are the ciliary muscles. So when you look at an object that is near your face, what would happen is that the ciliary muscles will contract, which means that your hand is gonna almost try to squish the balloon. So your hands are going to come as if they want to fist bump. And then what will happen is that the suspensory ligaments, like it's when you pull elastic, if you're fist bumping your hands, the elastic will become loose. So they will be loosened. And then what will happen to the balloon is that it's going to get like thicker and more curved. So now more refraction or the bending of light happens, so that that image that is close on your face can be fine-tuned, so it will focus sharply on your retina. And then now the opposite is for when you're looking at something far away. Maybe you're looking at a bird flying in the sky. So that's far away. So what will happen is that your hand, again, which is your ciliary muscles, will relax. Like, see when you relax and you're like stretching your back, you're pulling your hands away. So your ciliary muscles relaxing and they're pulling away. That's pulling on your suspensory ligaments, so they'll become tight as if you're pulling elastic. And then that will make your balloon thicker. If you stretch a balloon, it gets thinner and less curved. And that way, less light or less bending of light will occur, which allows for the focus of far away images in your retina. So it ensures that it lands on your retina properly and it's focused. So you'll see that video over there, just showing you what happens. And then we have the pupillary mechanism, which is basically the change in size for your pupil to regulate the amount of light that is entering your eye. So let's say you are in a bright lit room. Maybe let's say you go outside. It's a sunny day, so the sun is out. So what happens is that there's too much light because you're outside and it's a sunny day. So what happens is that you have circular muscles. Those circular muscles will contract. When they contract, like your radial muscles are just relaxed. So the radial muscles are like straight and they just in place, they're not moving, they just chilled. And then your circular muscles are contracting. And when they're contracting, it's as if, like, let's say you're holding a ball or a plastic cup that is round. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but if you're holding a ball and you press on the ball, like you contracting, you press on the ball, it gets like it's almost trying to shrink in diameter or circumference. So that's what happens to the pupil when circular muscles constrict. And when the pupil constricts or gets smaller, less light enters into the eye, so your eyes won't be damaged by the sun. So then the opposite is going to happen if you walk back inside the house. You were out on a sunny day and now you're walking back inside the house. And when you walk back inside the house after being outside, you realize you can't really see properly inside the house because the house is not as bright as it was outside. So you are like, you cannot see properly. So what will happen is that your circular muscles now will relax, as if like now you're just like almost letting go of the ball. The ball now is going to go back into its shape. It's going to now like enlarge in circumference, but now your radial muscles, like the straight muscles, are the ones that are constricting. So it's if like they're pulling in every direction of the circle, they're pulling it to enlarge. That's what makes your pupil dilate or enlarge, and more light to allow as much as light possible to get into your eyes. So then that's how you realize after a few minutes of like blinking or closing your eyes inside the house, then you start saying, oh, I can now see clearly. So this mechanism is just to help you protect your retinas to not get damaged by too much light, and also to ensure that if you are in a dark place where you can't see, like where you need to make sure that you see that you don't hurt yourself and you don't walk into something, that you are able to get enough light possible. So I have a diagram over here. As you can see, the radial muscles, when they constrict, the radial muscles are the straight ones, like the straight lines. When they constrict, it's as if they're pulling on the circle on every end or every circumference, every area of the circumference, to pull open the pupil. And on the other side, you can see when the circular muscles constrict, is as if they're pushing the circle and making it smaller. So that's how it works. And then now we're gonna look at some common visual defects. The first one is short-sightedness. This is when you are able to see objects that are close. Like maybe when you're reading a book, you'll notice some people when they read a book, they'll bring it very, very close to their face, But if you are standing far away from them holding a newspaper and you're like, did you see this headline? They are like, I cannot see anything that you are holding right now, or whatever is written on that newspaper, since you are standing a little far away from me. So this is called short-sightedness. So what happened is that it's either the eyeball itself is too long, so the light does not really reach the retinas properly or enough, or the lens is too curved. The lens is too curved, so the light is bending or too much that it's not hitting the retinas. So that's what's happened. And to correct this, you need concave lenses in your glasses or contact lenses to spread out the light properly, so that it will, before it gets into your eye, so it will hit the retinas on the right spot. And then we have another defect that's like the opposite of that, which is long-sightedness. That you've seen either your grandparents or your parents, if they read, they will like hold the newspaper or the book away from them, like they will hold it away. And it's kind of weird because like, how do you think you're gonna see it if you're holding it away? But that's called long-sightedness. So when they hold it away, they're able to see things that are far away but cannot see things that are closer to their face. So it's either the eyeball is too long, which then makes the light to hit before it doesn't reach the retinas, or the lens is too flat, like there's not enough refracting or bending of light so that the light will hit the retinas. So what the correction, or what they could help them here, is getting convex lenses, or convex lenses to bend the light, so like it will increase the refraction or the bending of light, so that it will get properly go into or hit the retinas properly. And then we have another one that is astigmatism. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Google the pronunciation. So this is when your lenses or your cornea, which we know play a big role in making sure the image is edited and clear, but those two structures are irregularly shaped or not perfectly curved. This makes you see a blurred or distorted vision from in all distances, either close, far away. And you see in the image there, and now you can see the lights perfectly. But if you have this defect, the lights are like this. And honestly, a lot of people see lights like that, so that's a bit scary. I don't know if it's like a sign that most people have this sort of visual defect. I don't know, I think maybe it is common. So here you have to get cylindrical lenses to correct the uneven refraction that's happening there. Another one that is also another common visual defect is cataracts. That's when like there's some sort of cloudy stuff on your lenses, or your pupil looks like it's cloudy, and this you see mostly with senior citizens. So it blurs your image, obviously, like light will not be getting in perfectly if there's some sort of cloudiness in your lenses. And the way you can correct this is basically getting surgery to replace your lens, like an artificial lens, because this is like a physical barrier that prevents light, so you have to surgically remove it. That's the only way you can correct it. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this video was clear and easy to understand and made life easier for you. I hope you enjoyed this. There will be a part 3 of the nervous system, where we'll be talking about hearing, how you hear, and all of that. But to make sure that you don't miss that video, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, and also like this video and leave a comment and share this with your classmates, because they're also in the same boat as you. They need to get an A, and this channel is going to make sure that it happens. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting me. I hope everything goes well with your studies. Bye.